Today's episode is brought to you by One Electric, the experts empowering medical imaging centers. If you're setting up a new facility, you need an electric company that knows the ins and outs of medical equipment. That's where One Electric comes in. They specialize in reliable, high-quality installations, tailored specifically for MRI, CT, and X-ray machines. With One Electric, you can trust that your imaging center will be up and running smoothly from day one. Visit oneelectric.com to learn more. Welcome to A Couple of Rad Techs podcast, where we bring you an inside look at the world of radiology from the unique perspective of a married couple of radiologic technologists. Together, we have over 30 years of experience in the field and are here to demystify the science of medical imaging. Radiology is the unsung hero of the medical field, providing doctors with crucial images and information that help diagnose and treat illnesses. Join us as we explore the latest techniques, technologies, and innovations in radiology and discover the vital role we play in the healthcare industry. So come along for the ride as we share our passion for radiology as a married couple. What I wish I knew before I went to radiology technology school 22 years ago. Because I think this is a great conversation. Many people ask me, what would you do differently? Would you do anything differently? 22 years in the field, I am very blessed to have a profession to where I can actually work multiple types of jobs within my career. You may say, how can you do that? Well, I went to school for radiologic technology first, but none of my counselors in school knew anything about radiology. Neither did I. I actually had a family member and friend. One was a radiology technologist, but I didn't know what he did. The other was a respiratory therapist. I really didn't know what she did, but I knew I loved her schedule. And I loved his schedule too. So I wind up going to school. My mom wanted me to go to school for nursing because that's all we're taught is you be a doctor, be a nurse. Y'all, I'm here to tell you, I've been doing radiology for 22 years. My husband, almost 20 years. I have several friends in the field that have been in longer than me and some that have been in less. I didn't have the guidance that you all have today, especially with social media. When I first got on social media talking about radiology, everything was more educational, but really a day in the life, like seeing what we do, seeing people that we can relate to actually working in this field of radiology didn't really exist. We have corporations now looking to advance our profession because they see how vital radiologic technology is. Medical imaging is like the third largest medical profession in the nation, y'all. I don't know if people really even know that. And I didn't know that when I first got into it. I had no clue. I started in respiratory. Let me go back. I actually was doing hair all through school, went to school for cosmetology, and I had multiple jobs after that ended. And I wound up going back to school for respiratory therapy because I always stayed in college taking courses. For me, I'm always an avid learner, and I always kept classes going. So I decided, well, I'm going to go ahead and take this course and, do that, respiratory therapy. I knew somebody that did it and they made really good money and they took good care of their families and they were happy. They had all their bills paid. They were doing good. So I'm like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I shadowed and lasted a week and I went back to the college counselor and said, I don't think respiratory is for me. So yeah, and she agreed it wasn't. So she said, let me put you over in radiologic technology. I'm like, what's that? She was like, don't worry, you'll love it. It's taking x-rays of people's body. I'm like, okay, yeah, that sounds pretty good. I've heard of that before. Now, mind you, I had radiology exams before as a kid. So I had all of these exams, but I never knew. I thought they were nurses. I know I can't be the only one that thought that. I know I can't. So that's where if you knew what you knew now, would you not join radiology first? I would. And what I would tell any of you now is really do your career path mapping early when it comes to medical imaging. I'll tell you why I say that, because I did not map my career out. If I would have known what I know now, I would have chosen different pathways. As of right now, I have diagnostic radiology as a certification. I have CT and I have MRI. I've taken an ML course, I've done clinical applications, I've been in education, and I've done research as well. I've happened into a lot of those things. They were not planned. I didn't even know they existed. And I've had opportunities to do many other things. And technology has changed a lot. So the opportunities that are available now to technologists in the radiology field were not available when I was coming out. MRI was not even used like it is today. So that's why I never really thought about going into MRI because it really wasn't as advanced as it is now. There wasn't a real need in that profession like there is now. CT was the up and coming, it was doing great. Nuclear medicine, PET was coming in. And that's one of the things that wasn't really existing. They were talking about radiologist assistant then. It wasn't a thing when I finished school, but there were other opportunities. I had no clue you can go to school to be an ultrasound tech after going for radiology. All I knew when I went to radiology school was I was going to take x-rays. Once I got into the program, literally my first year, I started talking to technologists who were my clinical instructors and training, people who trained me. And my instructors, I had 2 instructors that I specifically looked at that were instrumental in me realizing, Sean, you need to navigate your course as a radiologic technologist now, or you will not ever be able to really hit the trajectory and really to grow in your career if you don't do it now. Those 2 instructors had several certifications behind their name. Not just the degrees, they had the certifications. One did QA, which was really big then. QA, she was big into mammo and some other things. So I was like, tell me about your certifications. And she gladly told me. Sometimes you won't find out things unless you show an interest in that person and you ask, genuinely ask, and you show initiative. I was very about my schooling when I was in school for radiology. And when it came to my other instructor, he had almost every certification. And one of them was radiation therapy. And I was really fascinated by radiation therapy. And he would always answer my questions and talk to me about that and tell me how good of a profession it was and the things you can do with radiation therapy. Like he educated me on from there, you can go into medical dosimetry. I was like, what is medical dosimetry? A lot of people don't know about that profession. They are a part of medical imaging, y'all. And it is a very high level position. And, I just didn't know a lot of things. I didn't know that there was something called a clinical applications technologist. There was sales positions we could get. I know a couple athletes and they didn't make it far in the NFL or they retired from after a few years in the NFL. You know what they do? Medical sales now. That's the people I knew that were in medical sales. Well, we can do it too. We can even work for the FBI, y'all. Like there are jobs out there for medical professionals to even work as an FBI agent. Who knew? And that is why I'm telling you, I'm coming on this platform to really explain to you all the options that you have in medical imaging. So if you have not subscribed yet, please do so right here. And if you are looking to really learn more in depth, I have a podcast that comes out on a regular basis. It is a top 5% radiology podcast. It is entertaining, educational, and all in between. Go ahead and subscribe here and make sure you download episodes. Listen as you're driving in your car. Make sure you leave me a review if you could, please. That really helps out. And yeah, I am an open book about what I've done, what I haven't done, and what I wish I had done. Those are some of the things I wish I knew before. I feel like my career has done well, but with some guidance and some knowledge beforehand, I feel like I could have made decisions that were based off of research. And I didn't really have that, but I think I did pretty well. I feel like I've done really well. I've inspired several people that I know to go into the profession, and they are very happy that they are able to have a life that is devoid of some of the basic struggles that people have being able to take care of their families. I mean, people talk a lot of times about making 6 figures in radiologic technology, or they want a job straight out of high school or straight out of college to make 6 figures. That's not realistic. I'll be honest with you. Can it happen? Yes. Probably if you live in a high cost of living area, you're going to come out of school making 6 figures, but it's going to cost you those 6 figures just to rent a room from somebody to live. It's just, it can be like that. Now, there is money to be made in the profession, but again, it takes skills that you're going to have to acquire over time. And it's not impossible, but don't just be focused just on the money in this profession, because money, you can make money. Don't just be focused on the money, because you have to make the money, but you also need the certifications that go along with it. They're going to take you have a long-term effect on your career. So you may not be looking to be in a job for 20, 30 years like your parents were. I understand that. I wasn't either. I've never been on a job that long. I think I was born in the wrong generation. Personally, I do. People have always felt like when I first started radiology, I worked a full-time job. I had a PRN job first and a full-time job right in mixing that. And I didn't stay very long. I stayed about a little over a year. And then I went to a management job that was full-time. I stayed in that for a little bit just to get my experience on my resume and use that to hone certain skills. That's where I got my research skill from. That's where I got certain other things I learned about the research. And from there, I got several research jobs after that. So that one job opened up an opportunity down the road for me and connections, as well as next moving on to another job that was full time, but it had a really good schedule. It was close to home. At the time, my father was really sick and I needed to be close at home around. So that was that. But other than that, when I started out, I stayed PRN for a really long time and fortunately have not had to get a full time job because of our profession in radiology is we can work PRN, per diem, travel, contract, all of those things. And those are all options that we have working in radiology. So I did those things and they were unconventional at that time because people that worked PRN usually were people that were just fill-in people. They usually had another full-time job somewhere else. But for me, I had a calendar. If I could show you guys my calendar back in the early 2000s, it was color-coded. I had like 5 different hospitals that I was going to. My calendar was packed, packed, packed with work. And people couldn't understand why would I do that. It gave me flexibility, it gave me higher income, and I, I was confident in what I could do. I didn't mind change. I didn't mind going to a new place with new people around me. I was there to do a job, and the job was there to do something for me, which was pay me what I felt I was worth. And then I have flexibility to where I was never in the politics of the stuff in the office because I didn't work there permanently. I wasn't full time. I wasn't there all the time. I'd be there maybe for a day or two a week, or maybe 1 week solid and not come back for another month. That's a beautiful thing. But people were like, oh my goodness, you're not going to have work. Other texts were like, you're not going to ever have any work. You're going to be, I never was without work, ever, ever, ever since I started PRN in about 2004, 2005. I was never, when I tell you never out of work, never. So do not let other people's scarcity mind or fearful mindset come over to you. Ignore them. Don't even let people know your plans sometimes. And when they find out your plans, because a lot of times on jobs, people say, oh, well, you don't work. You have kids. Why don't you work full time? Because I don't. Or, wow, how do you work when you just have PRN? That's not any guaranteed hours. Well, the last time I checked, y'all, in healthcare, they do flex full-timers out as well. So there's no guaranteed hours for anybody, to be honest. So really look at your situation. When I say chart out your journey in this wonderful field of radiology, chart it out, y'all. And be sure to give your sister a follow. Let's support each other. Let's get radiology on the map. And that's a wrap for this episode of A Couple of Rad Techs podcast. We hope you enjoyed our discussion of the fascinating world of radiology and learned something new about the role we play in the healthcare industry. If you have any questions or topics that you'd love for us to cover, feel free to reach out and let us know what they are. And you guys, please, if you enjoyed this podcast or any of the other episodes, we want to hear what you thought. Leave us a review. Mama's got to pay her bills. It helps. And until next time, stay tuned for more insightful and informative episodes of A Couple of Rad Techs podcast. Are you looking for an easy way to incorporate more fruits and vegetables into your diet? Look no further than Juice Plus. Juice Plus offers a convenient solution to help you eat more plant-based foods every day. Their fruit and vegetable capsules contain a blend of plant powders that provide essential nutrients, vitamins, and antioxidants from 30 different fruits, vegetables, and berries. Whether you're a busy professional, a student on the go, or simply looking to make healthier choices, Juice Plus can help you get the daily nutrients you need to feel your best. And the best part is, get this, Juice Plus is backed by extensive research, including numerous clinical studies that show the benefits of their products. Plus, they're committed to sustainability and use only the highest quality ingredients. So if you're ready to start eating more plants without the hassle of chopping and cooking, give Juice Plus a try. And if you place your order through my personal link in the description, you're going to receive 5 tart cherry complete energy bars as a thank you. So go ahead and order your fruit and vegetable capsules today. Now let's get back to our regularly scheduled program.